So I found some photos on a German Facebook site, and they're doing the same research as me. And here we go. Look at this, folks. Buildings right in plain sight. The whole world is building. This whole mountain right here, see this? Is building. Melted building. This is Georgia. Well, most of this is in German, so there's not much English here, but I'll go through it. This is Georgia. Buildings. Bulgaria. Buildings. Peru. Buildings. USA. Buildings. China. Buildings. I'm glad to see more people waking up to this. Like I said, we're 10 to 15 years ahead of everybody else, right? In this research. Eventually, most people on the earth will realize that we haven't gone back to the moon. We haven't gone to space travel, right? It's all a lie, folks. It's all a lie. We live in a matrix. We live in a simulation, right? I've been saying that over and over again. People don't realize it. Your brain, your brain, your mind controls this matrix, right? This is why they push this NASA stuff, this fake history stuff, the dinosaurs, right? To keep your mind enclosed. Once our brains are free, our minds are free, this matrix will start working for us, right? But they are so desperate. The world elites, well, they're not elites, the cult, are so. Their sole purpose is to put us down, bring us down, keep our minds enslaved, right? You see that in the movies, media, news, right? So this, they'll never teach you this in school. They'll never teach you this in the media or the movies, right? They'll tell you that the caveman came here and started digging this stuff out, right? I said it before, said it again. The human beings only been here 200 years. And before that, the old world, right? And then, I think the big meltdown happened around 200 years ago. There's evidence to that. I'll make another video on that, but I'm just go through these photos. Let's go to the next one. So what do you see here, folks? Sorry, this is in German. So this is in Africa somewhere, and this is just someone made this image out of a video game or something. You see the similarities? This was a city here, folks. This was a city. Looks like this section right here was this, and then this section was a water park, right? The old world used water, atmospheric, magnetic energy to power this world. They didn't use anything like oil, gas, nuclear, etc., to power the world. It was all free energy everywhere. Hence the red brick, right? Everything was red brick. You see this structure in the middle of the desert. This was an old world structure that survived versus everything else, was obliterated and turned to dust. Right? So this is something they just posted. 666. If you add 2021, 2022, 2023. 666. So you see this everywhere in the world too. These supposed I think just ruins. It doesn't look like ruins to me. It looks like building, which have been meltified. This is Machu Picchu. I'm not sure where these other places are. So this is in a Hindu temple, or I think in an Indian temple. You see the red bricks. Most of the world was red bricks, but they used concrete molding on top of the red brick to make their structures look better, right? So you see that everywhere. But you see some red brick here. So this is a tunnel somewhere in either Europe or USA. The supposed underground railroad, right? This underground railroad. They always tell you this is not an underground railroad. This is all part of the old world red brick buildings. You can see right here. Red brick right there. You can see heat damage here. This is all heat damage. This is not soot from a train, right? You don't see any train tracks here. They'll tell you it's from a train tracks of coal mining, right? It's not that, folks. A closer look at the red brick. You can see the heat damage here on the other red brick, right? So I think this is, I'm not sure which area this is, but I think this is quote unquote natural formations, right? That's what they tell you, natural formations. This is what the geologists and the tectonic, the geography experts tell you, that this is a natural formation. When you start waking up, you'll see buildings everywhere. You'll see buildings everywhere. Once your mind is free and clear, you'll see buildings everywhere. Obvious structure right here. Heat damage, big time. Look at that. It started to melt and cook and twist and turn, right? Look at that. But these windows, these passageways remained. This one's, this part right here used to look like this, right? You see some remnants of a statue probably right here, and you see remnants of architecture. You see this curving structure like this. You see this in any European town, Paris, France, England. You see stuff like that, right? So I think one more, and you see these cobblestone roadways everywhere in the world, right? They tell you that the Romans or the colonials came in and built this, right? That's what they tell you. The Romans came here and built this all over. You have to imagine, this is millions upon millions of bricks lined up, Nobody, sorry, the Romans who, they tell us they wore bathrobes and sandals, built this everywhere, right? And this is the same thing here. You see these melted stairways, right? They started to warp and twist from the heat damage. You see this everywhere in the world. Everywhere. Like I said, the big meltdown happened 200 years ago, folks. People don't believe me. In 10 years from now, you'll look back in the videos and say, you're right.